Welcome to Second Shift, guys. Today we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart, and it is the lessons learned in this book. And you probably can't see them because the screen is backwards, but this is extreme ownership. And unless you have been hiding under a rock somewhere for the last couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years, when was this published? Who knows? But at least 3 years that you've been hiding under a rock, then you wouldn't know about Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. You wouldn't know about their book, Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. But many of you may have read it, and it's got 5 of my most important lessons that you can learn from the Navy SEALs and any other military area for that matter, that are super helpful. And we're going to figure out how they apply to your business today. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So hang tight, it's coming up. All right. And you know me. I have got my notes. I always have my notes because they're super helpful. But today, what I want to talk about are those 5 very important lessons that you can use for your business. And at the end, we'll get some feedback from the rest of the group and kind of talk through what some of those mean. But I want to hit them real fast and kind of talk through them with you. But those 5 are: there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. The second one is, the last 4 here come from the laws of combat, and those are cover and move, keep it simple, prioritize and execute, and decentralize command. And we want to talk about that and maybe demystify the military speak that goes with it so that it's a little easier to kind of apply to your business. But if you haven't read the book, it is a fantastic read. It's a great listen as well. And the premise of the book is they take these and they actually apply them in big corporate business and in each one of these different areas in corporate business, and explain how they use those principles to run business and lead and win off the battlefield as well. So let's talk about there are no bad teams, only bad leaders or bad leadership. It requires us to take extreme ownership. And if you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur watching this right now, then you know, right? You are your team. So when a bill doesn't get paid, it's because you didn't pay it. If an invoice doesn't get paid to you, it's because you didn't collect on it. There's a lot that kind of lands on your shoulders, and that can be overwhelming, right? And what I want to explain to you about there's no bad teams, only bad leaders is this does rest on your shoulders. And you need to have a system and a process for managing the workflow in your business, or it kind of comes home to roost and it can be very, very overwhelming. So you want to make sure that you have that. Now, if you are an entrepreneur and you are fortunate enough to be in the stage where you've scaled your business and you have a team, regardless of whether that's a team that you don't actually pay until you borrow their service or use their service, like a CPA or a banker or an attorney, or maybe even a virtual assistant or a marketing person for your social media or whatever it might be, those people are on your team. And whether you employ them as 1099 or whether you pay them right out of your payroll that you have, it really doesn't matter. If you're relying on other people to support your business and achieve your business goals, then you actually have a team. And they're looking to you as the leader. And if you don't have those leadership skills, then that's some of the things that you're going to want to invest in is your own personal development and leadership skills. Because again, it all comes back to you. Your business is not going to be successful unless you do something about it. So that's definitely extreme ownership. And I know you know that, but it's worth repeating because it was in the book, right? So the second one is cover and move, or excuse me, the first law of combat, but the second point I want to make is cover and move. And cover and move really speaks to teamship or working as a team and connecting, because you can't really cover and move without doing that. Now, in the military, this would be a place where one person holds point and covers the next person who's going to move, and that person would move up and you leapfrog. I don't know if you have seen movies like Full Metal Jacket or Forrest Gump for that matter, but they do operate in a very cover and move, leapfrog kind of way. Hey, cover me kind of thing. Well, that's what a team is for. And you're going to need to build a team You're going to need to be able to collaborate. And this really all relies on your skills to build high energy relationships and use dynamic communication in this cover and move, right? You've got to be able to know when the other person needs covered so they can move, and you've got to be able to communicate when you need covering so that you can move in your business. Now, this might be, a situation where you're relying on someone to post social media things for you. They've got to know what to post. They got to know when to post it. They got to know how you want it posted, how it's supposed to look. And you got to be able to communicate in order to make that happen, right? So first one of the laws of combat is cover and move. And this is about you building a team, using your relationship building skills, that high energy relationships, that dynamic communication is how you apply that. Now, the second one is to keep it simple, right? And when it comes to entrepreneurship, keeping it simple in the military, it makes perfect sense, right? If it gets super complicated and you're in the heat of a battle or something like that, it's not hard to imagine trying to figure out all these complicated things in order to just get one little thing done. It could be life-threatening, right? In a business, it could be life-threatening to the business if you don't keep things simple. And a lot of times we, as entrepreneurs, we see opportunities everywhere, and we look for opportunities to, what it seems like is to optimize our business or to perform better or to grow. And what they actually are opportunities to chew up our time and steal our time and take on more complexity. And the more complex that your business gets, the more time it takes to operate it, the more people it takes to operate it. And when something breaks, the more time it takes to fix it. So keeping it simple is really important. And when it comes down to it, you got to be able to take $1 and turn it into two. And if you can do that, you've got a business model, right? If you, and it doesn't, you don't have to double your amount. You could make a much smaller profit margin, but just for argument's sake, it's $1 into two. And no complicated, super complicated funnels and all this stuff. If somebody's got to click through 14 things and get 15 emails before they can actually get value from you and buy from you, then you have overcomplicated things tremendously, and it is going to hurt your business as a result. So if you are a coach, simplify your offering. Hey, here are the 3 things that I offer, and here's the way I offer them. Here's the simple pricing that I have, and make things simple for people. No one loves to be sold to, but everyone loves to buy things, and we get, as buyers in the marketplace, regardless of what it is we're buying, when things get overcomplicated, I want you to think back, right? Think back to that super amazing sale when we could all go outside and go shopping and do kinds of things like that at Christmas. Think about that super sale that required you to tear off a tag and then mail something in and do this and do that. And before you know it, you're just like, I don't really care, right? It's just too much. So no, don't do things that are complicated. And a very good lesson that you can take, and I don't remember who said this first. It was probably somebody super famous and amazing, but it wasn't me. But it's not about doing 12,000 different things once in order to grow your business. It's about doing one thing 12,000 different times in order to grow your business. So get really good at the 1 or 2 or 3 things that help you turn $1 into 2, and keep it simple. The third one of these laws of combat, and the fourth point I want to bring up today, is to prioritize and execute. And this comes down to setting them up, knocking them down, knowing what's on your plate for the day, prioritizing it, actually putting a number and order to when you are going to do things and execute them in that order. This is all about time management. This is about putting first things first. And it's about, this idea that we underestimate what we can accomplish in a year and overestimate what we can accomplish in a day. We pack our day so full of stuff that we, at the end of the day, we go, man, I feel like I didn't do anything. You did 10 things, right? Ultimately, you should be looking at 1 or 2 major things to do each day. Those should be your big accomplishments. And then look for creating some margin in your day so that you've got time to think and take stock of those opportunities that are facing you. But margin's a big one, and you want margin in your profits, you want margin in your time. And when you've got margin in both your profits and in your time, you're going to be a very happy business owner because you get to make lots of impact on the world. but really prioritize and execute comes down to time management and doing first things first, right? You cannot be overloaded and be effective. You might be effective for 30 minutes, but you're not going to be effective on an ongoing sustainable basis. So prioritize and execute. The fourth one is decentralize command. And this kind of works with not only time management, but also with workflow and other things, right? If every single decision has to come through you, guess what? You got to be ready to make them all. And some of them you could really trust somebody else to do. In a business I was working in, this is several years ago, we determined that, here's a good example. We determined that we wanted to watch every single penny going out the door, and we wanted to make sure that every single shipment was signed off on because there was this big lockdown on cash, and at the time. And here's what happened: um, uh, we got bottlenecked. We couldn't ship anything out. We started getting super slow, and we're talking about FedEx packages, right? These are FedEx packages, nothing big, nothing huge, no big pieces of machinery or anything like that, but small FedEx packages. And with these small FedEx packages, we were having people that had to, being paid lots of money um, each year to do other things, were having to stop and sign off on shipping a $50 package that cost $12 to ship. So we saw this as an issue, and we generalized the decision power and decentralized that command. We delegated that decision power down and empowered those people who were putting the packages together. It says, hey, if this package is less than $200 in value and shipping cost, you get to decide how it goes. Is it FedEx or UPS? And if you make it, a $10 mistake, it's still less money spent than taking somebody who makes a buku's amount of money and bottlenecking this and not serving the customer. So look for ways to empower your team. Look for ways to delegate tasks that you have, and set and arrange some standards within your business that can help you do this. So there's the five. There's the five. There they are. Okay. You've got your there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. So don't be a bad leader. And part of the way that you become a good leader is to use these 4 laws of combat in your business. And they are cover and move. That's build a team, can collaborate and build relationships. That is keep it simple, right? You're just trying to turn $1 into 2 and no complicated anything, right? If it's super complicated, get rid of it. It's probably not worth it. You're looking to do that one thing 12,000 times, not 12,000 things one time. And then the third one is prioritize and execute. It's time management, putting first things first. Don't overestimate what you can do in a day, and create margin. So you got time to think and do the things that you didn't plan for. And then the final one here is decentralize command. Take the decision power away from you and give it to someone else that's on your team to help make that decision. And again, that could be help that you've hired out on the team. It could be a virtual assistant that says, hey, if we get a deal on Facebook ad or something like that, and it's going to be less than a $50, variance to what I told you to spend, you make the decision. I'm cool with that. We'll want to talk about it when we review it, but you make the decision, right? So there are 5 big lessons from this amazing book right here, and there are many more, but I will leave a link to this book down below. And hopefully you have enjoyed this, and I'd love to hear your feedback and comments in the comments below. All right, until next time, thank you all for tuning in and joining this call today, and I'm glad and hope you got something out of it. All right.